Hello, friends. Welcome to Living Stories with Debbie. We have a really interesting book today, and it is about the fall equinox. Equinox. Do you guys know what that is? I'm sure you must have heard about the equinox. Well, we are going to learn about that today in a fun book to read. We are going to read We Gather Together. And let me bring that a little closer. What time of year is this? Do we have clues? Well, we do. Look how they're dressed. So it's kind of chilly. Whatever season it is, it's kind of chilly. Pumpkins are growing. That's a big clue. And the trees in the background have apples. Another big clue. We gather together celebrating the harvest season. It also says this book is filled with facts about the fall equinox. So we'll be reading some of those facts. So, great picture again. We gather together. Oh, let me show you the great pictures. I'm just going to put that up there for just a second. If you want to enlarge your screen so you can see some of these things a little bit easier, please go ahead and then we'll start reading in just a quick second. Can you name all of these animals? All right. During early autumn in the northern part of the earth, chipmunks pack their cheeks full of seeds to store in underground burrows. Red fox pups hunt for rodents and fruit to eat. They bury leftovers to dig up when food is scarce. Beavers store twigs and sticks underground to chew when ice covers their pond. As the sun appears lower in the southern sky each day, the sun rises later each morning and sets earlier each evening. Days grow shorter, the nights grow cooler, and the growing season ends. Time to prepare for winter. Black bears gobble honey, grubs, fruits, and roots, building layers of fat for the cold days ahead. Look at that guy. People pick purple grapes, yellow squash, orange pumpkins, and crisp red apples. They husk corn, gather nuts, rake cranberries, and they enjoy the harvest. But today, there's little need for them to stockpile food for winter as the animals do. Ships, trucks, and cargo planes transport all this different types of food to transport it from parts of the world where fruits and vegetables are still growing. So what they're saying is that you and me don't need to gather all of our food for the winter and put it in our house somewhere, or eat it and pack it on our bodies, let's say, as fat, like a bear would or an animal would. They're saying that ships, trucks, and cargo planes transport food from parts of the world where fruit and vegetables are still growing, basically to our grocery stores. Okay, when it's winter in the northern hemisphere, which is where I live, and I'm sure most of you live, food is brought in from the southern hemisphere, where it's still summer. All right, let me see how I can show you this. I'm not going to show you that picture. All right, let's continue reading. Different seasons are caused by the tilt of the earth as it moves around the sun. When the northern part of the earth tilts towards the sun, the north gets lots of sunshine, and it's summer there. When the northern part of the earth tilts away from the sun, the north gets less sunshine and it's winter. Between summer and winter, around September 21st, the sun crosses the equator and shines equally on both the northern and the southern parts of the earth. On that day, in the northern parts of the world, summer ends and autumn begins September 21st. Day and night have equal hours all over the world. For many, the autumnal equinox signals a time to harvest crops. All right. So there's just showing you a little bit. Now, I'm not sure I can, no, I'm not going to show you that because that would be too confusing. All right. So it just told us some things about how the earth tilts and why sometimes during the year we have long, hot summer days that last forever. And then the days get shorter, the nights get longer, nighttime comes earlier, it gets cooler. That's because our earth is just tilting either towards the sun or away from the sun, depending on where you live. September 21st signals to a lot of animals out there, hey, it's the same amount of nighttime as it is daytime. That tells that animal that things are changing and they need to change their behavior and get ready for winter. It also tells crops that are growing, hey, I need to start ripening. Okay, what do people do? And that's what we're going to read about just right now. What do people do during the equinox? Each crop of food has its own growing season. Most seedlings sprout with the cool spring rains and thrive, definitely thrive, under the warm summer sun. Sunshine helps a plant's leaves make the food that is necessary for the plant to grow. Oh gosh, do I love a summer day. All right. But when autumn arrives, September 21st, days are cooler. Plants can no longer make the food they need because the sun is just not hot enough and the sun isn't out long enough. It is time to gather those crops. Fruits and vegetables that ripen by autumn must be harvested before winter freezes them. And that weather can also destroy that crop. So we see a mom and son out there bringing in their fall harvest of squash and pumpkins. Oh, and you can tell, look what the leaves are doing on the tree here. 300,000 years ago, no one knew how to plant seeds to produce a bountiful harvest. Cave dwellers picked berries, collected nuts, dug roots, and they gathered wild plants. And winters were very hard for them. They had to live on what they gathered and stored in the fall. About 10,000 years ago, where Syria and Turkey are today, tribes learned to grow wheat and barley from seeds. How exciting it must have been to plant one seed and produce a stalk of many. And that is in Syria and Turkey is what they are depicting. Or where Syria and Turkey are today. Okay, they were saying that was 10,000 years ago. Well, 8,000 years ago in Egypt, people discovered the warm climate was perfect for what was now called farming. The Nile River provided water, nutrition, and once each year, its floodwaters deposited rich, black, fertile soil on both sides of the Nile River, and plants grew abundantly in that. Oh, look at these little birds. Gradually, farming spread to Asia. About 5,000 years ago, people grew food in a crescent-shaped area where Iraq is now. The Tigris River and small streams that fed it turned valleys into a fertile crescent of rich farmland. Oh, look at all those palm trees. I bet you're harvesting lots of dates from that. Each autumn, in many lands, men, women, and children worked all day and even in night under the light of a bright harvest moon. They cut rice, threshed wheat, and gathered bundles of barley. A good harvest meant plenty of food to eat in the fall and more to store for days when food was scarce. Time to rejoice and have fun after hard, back-breaking work. Have you ever seen a harvest moon so bright at night you could be outside? You could see pretty good outside. That's called the harvest moon. Over the centuries, people celebrated plentiful harvests and passed down traditions at different times, in different places, and in different ways. All over the world, harvest celebrations from the past are still being carried on today. Jewish families have gathered together at harvest time for over 3,000 years to celebrate Sukkot. And so Sukkot is a Jewish holiday. And I think it's right around the fall time, I do believe. During this 8-day festival of Thanksgiving, they wave palms, myrtle, and willow branches, then point them all in the direction to show that God is everywhere. Some Jews built a hut called a sukkah, like the ones farmers once stayed in to be near their crops during a busy harvest. They decorate the huts with fruits and vegetables, and they invite friends and family to share food and friendship. People in southern India have celebrated Pongal, a 4-day rice festival, for over 2,000 years. On the first day, they decorate their front doors with rice flower designs and give thanks to the rain gods. On the second day, they cook pongal, a sweet rice pudding, and offer some to the sun gods. That's an interesting tradition. On the third day, they honor their cattle to thank them for pulling the plows. And on the fourth day, families and friends gather on riverbanks to dance and enjoy a bountiful feast, including, of course, freshly harvested rice. Look at their cows. The people of Japan have held rice festivals for about 2,000 years. In spring, girls dressed in kimonos plant rice while musicians play bells, drums, and flutes. And in summer, they hold a lantern festival to express their joy as the rice ripens. Oh, how colorful. When fall comes, they celebrate the rice harvest with parades and a dragon dance. During their moon viewing ceremony, people sing while watching shadows of the full moon. Many think the shadows show a rabbit making rice cakes. For over 700 years, Nigerians have held a fall festival to give thanks for yams, the first crop harvested. On the night before the festivities begin, the old wrinkled yams are thrown out, the ones they didn't eat. The extra, I suppose. They're throwing out the old ones from last year. The next day, new yams are offered to the gods and ancestors in appreciation for a successful harvest. Dancers wear raffia skirts and masks that portray turtle, lizards, trees, and the sun or moon to celebrate the cycle of summer. Hundreds of years ago, the English believed that the spirit of their wheat lived in the last bundle they cut. In each field, they twisted it into the shape of a doll, since they called wheat corn. These dolls were named corn dollies. I'll just show you the whole picture here. They were hung in barns or churches during the winter, then plowed back into the earth in the spring to ensure a good harvest in autumn. People still make corn dollies just for fun. Have you seen a corn dolly? I think maybe I have. I'm sure I have at some point in time. Quite the tradition. Pilgrims from England arrived in America in the fall of 1620, and it was too late to plant crops. That winter, many died from hunger and sickness. When spring came, the surviving pilgrims sowed wheat seeds. A Native American tribe, the Wampanoag, I used to know this, the Wampanoags, we'll call it that, showed them how to plant maize and corn. The following autumn, the harvest was fruitful. The pilgrims planned a celebration to share this blessing. Wampanoag men hunted and killed 5 deer to bring to the feast. So here we see them. Are they planting there? Oh, yep, planting. And we're going to come over to here to where the harvest is. The pilgrims stayed busy too. Men brought ducks, geese, turkey, fish, and oysters. Women prepared cornbread, yum, and cranberries, yum, while children turned meat on spits over an open fire. Games and feasting lasted 3 days. That's our tradition in North America. Bountiful harvests have been celebrated since earliest times. People all over the world still celebrate a fruitful year of farming with fun, feasts, festivals. They enjoy corn, rice, yams, apples, pumpkins, cranberries, and other fruits and vegetables of the harvest season. Autumn, with its brilliant colors and delicious gifts of nature, offer friends and family a time to gather together and give thanks for all their wonderful blessings. So I have here equinox facts. I'm going to pick 3. I don't know which ones, and I'm going to read it. So here we go. The first one, equinox means equal night. On that day, everywhere on earth, there are 12 hours of light, 12 hours of dark. September 21st. Okay. Around June 21st, the summer solstice, the northern part of the world where we live, if you're living in America or Canada, the UK, England, that type up top. In the northern part of the world, we receive the direct rays of the sun around June 21st, directly shooting down on us. We have the longest day of the year, June 21st, the first day of summer, when our plants are growing. And let's pick one more. Do we have some more? No. Okay, here we go. Last one. How many seasons of the year are there? Can you hold up your fingers and tell me how many? There are 4 each year. A day called the vernal equinox welcomes the first day of spring. The summer solstice, so the vernal equinox, welcomes the first day of spring. The summer solstice, the longest day of the year, tells us summer has arrived, June 21st. The autumnal equinox, September 21st, greets us with autumn, and winter begins on the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year. And that's, I believe, is it in December? December 21st? So we get to enjoy 4 seasons because the earth tilts. That's a miracle. All right. This is what we read. We gather together celebrating the harvest season by Wendy Pfeiffer. I hope you enjoyed that. That was fun. We learned a lot. All right. We'll see you next time.